I've moved everything outside. I've squared up one corner on each of these legs. I have not cut them to length. I want to keep them as long as I can because inevitably there's going to be some snipe. And planer snipe is very common, very hard to control, especially on this old Delta I have. The secret is to keep putting wood in so that one piece is supporting the other. But that's also hard on the machine, hard on the blades. But that's the plan here. I'm going to run these through. Well, that's going to do it. They're all squared. You can see the glue lines where I've taken the taper out of these former pieces of piano. I still don't know what kind of wood it is, but it turns well. And I'll cut the two shortest to that maximum length and then turn the legs. Relatively easy to turn one, but then to turn the other exactly like it when you only have a limited number of stock, that's the hard part. So that's the scary part. And you just have to work through the fear. I can't put this off any longer. I have it chucked up. My 1624-44 is now in the 44 position, and it has a live chuck in there. It won't catch. I've got my tools sharpened. I've got it measured out where I'm going to start. I cut the corners right here with a little saw. Let's just put a nick in it so it wouldn't splinter up. And now I'm going to round that off. Well, we have a bit of a problem. This there was some chip out, so I took this large rasp, made it nice and flat, cut out a scrap from the same piece of wood here. I'm going to glue that on there and let it dry, and then ever so carefully work around it. Right. Back in the shop this morning. This looks a lot better today than it did yesterday. I was feeling like a pretty big failure yesterday when I left this. There are some problems here, but we're going to try to solve them. I know a couple things. First of all, I was turning at a low speed. This thing is huge. And to be honest, it scares the heebie-jeebies out of me since that thing left. And getting hit by a 42-inch, 41-inch piece of 3x3 is not something I want to experience. So I was turning at a low speed. I know that was part of the problem with this because it's so rough. I do know, too, that others where this chip out happened, it would never happen. That's not the turner I am, though, at this point in time. So I fixed this problem, and I know this about myself. If I touch that with a gouge or skew or whatever I choose to use, that thing's going to fly off, and I'm going to start all over again. So my approach this morning is going to be some rasp here and at least smooth this thing off and see if I can't get it down something to the right size and proceed from there. Well, that only took a couple of minutes and it makes me feel better. I think I'm going to try to hit it with some sandpaper now, an 80 grit gouge. Clean this up a bit. I've got to clean this up. I'm not happy with this at all, but I've got to deal with it. Well, that cleaned it up a lot. Yeah, need to clear that up a little bit. This is an easy tool I made following Captain Eddie's design. Turn this piece of copper here. For inexperienced turners, you can't beat this. I like it too because I can duplicate the radius here when I go to make the next one. Well, folks, there it is. Now, you got to be careful that you don't sand out the details in here. This is as far as I feel comfortable doing with the gouges. So I left this a little tall. I know that's going to come out with some sanding. This will all look a lot better in a minute. Here's another great gouge tool for beginners. 100 grit on this side, 80 grit on this side, and that's going to, nothing here. That's going to allow me to just sand this one area right here and keep it flat. It's looking a lot better than I expected it. I'm not sure what kind of foam this is, but I've got a sharp edge and a rounded edge, and that allows me to get into these little crevices. I'm done with the 80 grit. I'm going to move on to 100. I'm only going to go up to 150. This is going to be a painted piece. And then the easy part, making it look like another one. This is sanded to 100. This is the extension I glued on. Nice tight seam there. And here's the catch. I think I'll go to 120. Need to clean this up a little bit, and there's a little bit of a line right here. Well, friends, there you have it. I'm going to call this finished. Is it perfect? Yes, it is. Well, it's far from perfect, but it's the best I can do given this date. I'm going to go have a cup of tea, get my mind right to put this other leg in, and throw this thing out because that's no longer the pattern. and try to make another leg look similar to this, at least from 6 feet away. I've gotten a little braver. I've kept the speed up on the lathe this time, and it's giving me a much easier and cleaner cut. Of course, I have this to deal with, and this is my max line. I don't want to go past that. That's for sure. Well, I am pretty pleased with this. I've been putting this off and putting it off. Not sure of my talent here, but I think I may have pulled it off. It's pretty close. They're going to be about 6 feet apart. That'll help.